Like and subscribe and your crush will ask you out tomorrow. What's up guys and welcome back to SkyDiverge. So today we will be taking a look at how this husband's Fortnite addiction is destroying his marriage with his wife. I honestly found this really interesting. I'm really excited to show it to you guys, but now let's jump right into it. So real quick, just before we dive right into it, let's check out the intro for the episode where the wife is talking about just how bad her husband's video game addiction really is.
My husband is addicted to video games. He didn't even come out for his own daughter on her 14th birthday party.
I've been sick, Rachel.
Is he choosing gaming over his family?
Wow, so the dude was too busy playing video games that he didn't even come out of his room to wish his own daughter a happy birthday. That's just messed up if you ask me.
Flat screen on vacation to play your video game?
Yes, she said go ahead, do it.
So I didn't have to hear him the whole time.
Her temper is out the roof.
Was that her temper?
Yeah, that was her temper when she gets mad at me.
You're a little...
So it looks like we'll be seeing a bunch of arguing in this episode, but now with the intro out of the way, let's jump into the actual video.
Do you have a problem with video games?
Yeah, I have a moderate problem with them.
Okay, and how many hours a day on average?
Probably about 6 hours.
Okay.
Okay, buddy, first off, you don't have a moderate video game addiction. You have a serious video game addiction. A huge majority of adults don't even play video games in the first place. But this guy is sitting over here playing 6 hours a day when he should be working to make money to support his family and take care of his kids.
You say 12 to 14.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now that's a big gap between 6 hours a day, which...
So it turns out it's even more than 6 hours, matter of fact, over double according to his wife. This is unbelievable. Most kids don't even spend this much time playing video games.
In my opinion, I would consider to be an extreme problem.
Yeah.
And 12 to 14, which I would consider to be ridiculous.
So Dr. Phil thought 6 was bad, but when he heard 12 to 14 hours a day, he was struggling to find words to explain just how much of a problem this is.
An extreme problem. So, but let's get this straight.
Yeah, I play about 6 hours a day. I try to be with you and the kids. During that daytime, I try to come and eat with you guys.
It's pretty clear from Paul's facial expressions, Paul is the husband, by the way, that he is in fact either lying or not even realizing just how much time he spends on video games alone. It's like he doesn't show any emotions at all or doesn't feel bad at all for doing this to his family.
We used to eat together. Then
Aren't you living with your mother now?
I'm staying at my parents, not rent-free. I'm paying our bills.
So I guess his wife has had enough and completely just kicked him out of her house, and now this grown man is having to live with his parents. That's pretty embarrassing.
Okay, but you've moved out.
I moved out because me and her, we have issues. She's got anger issues, so do I. Have never played them 12 hours a day.
So now Paul's trying to deny ever playing 12 hours in a day. I myself find that hard to believe, but let's see what his wife has to say.
She says you wake up and you play them all day long until you go to bed, that you eat in bed playing the game, that you stay in bed playing the game, that you put a pillow under your left leg, you put a pillow...
It's funny how Dr. Phil is saying all this stuff that's most likely true, and Paul's just completely denying it instantly. He doesn't even want to admit that video games are a problem for him. And you know the only reason he's at the show is because his wife probably threatened him with a divorce if he didn't go.
Pillow behind your head, you put your controller in your lap, you sit there and play the game, they bring you food, you miss parties, you miss dinners, you go on vacation, you bought a flat screen to play your game.
I didn't buy a flat screen. Oh yeah, I did.
You did it?
Oh my gosh, he was just like, I didn't buy a flat screen TV, then not even a second later he realized that he did. I'm convinced Paul here is just insane.
Because I was, well, what's wrong with me when I'm having issues?
But you bought a flat screen on vacation to play your video game?
Yes, she said go ahead.
Okay, so it wasn't even a flat screen for his home. They were actually on vacation, and he didn't bring his TV with, obviously. So he bought a brand new flat screen TV just to be able to play video games while on the trip. That's absolutely ridiculous.
Do it.
The reason why I told him to go buy a screen so I didn't have to hear him the whole time.
Well, you're going to talk like that. I'm not going to talk with you because I'm
sorry.
tired of this.
It's the truth.
That's her temper.
Now this is where things start to get heated, but let's see if Dr. Phil can do anything about it.
Is out the roof. and I'm not going to be laughed at and made fun of.
I'm not making fun of you, sir.
I'll be honest with you.
I'm not
going to be called names like you've called me in the past.
Paul's actually starting to get angry. I mean, I would too. It's as if everyone in the room, even the audience, is on his wife's side and not his.
I'm not going to take it no more. You need to learn to talk to me the right way.
I understand.
Or no way at all, because I'm your husband. And if you want this to work, then we need to work it out together.
Wow, it looks like Paul's on the verge of tearing up from what I could tell. But I think he's right. There could be some problems with his wife being disrespectful to him.
I understand. I'm not here denying anything.
Was that her temper?
Yeah, that was her temper when she gets mad at me, because that's...
Now it's almost as the audience switched sides and cheered for Paul after he stood up against his wife and made a comeback.
That's what we end up doing, and we both get mad at each other.
Well, you're a little thin-skinned if that was her temper.
Well, okay then, just as we thought things were getting better for Paul, they quickly went away. But now let's switch to a different episode with the different people, but the same situation, video game addiction.
Playing on the computer all day and virtually ignoring his entire family.
My husband plays video games from morning till night. It's affecting all the relationships in the house.
So right from the start, we could tell that this situation is extremely similar to Paul and his wife, and I think I'm starting to see a pattern here.
My kids are out of control, and we can't pay our bills. It's just a lot of things that all circulate from the game.
Fred loved his graphic design job, and he made really good money.
He hasn't worked in 9 months.
He hasn't worked in 9 months? That's madness. I would have left him a long time ago because some people never change, and he clearly doesn't seem like he wants to.
He says it's because he can't find another job, but he's not even really looking for another job. He's just fiddling away on the computer.
I think he is addicted to the games because if the game wasn't there, I think he would get up and go get a job. Right.
No, sometimes you don't realize because you get so involved with something that time just kind of flies by.
We've spent New Year's Eve with him on the game, Christmases with birthdays, with one anniversary. He gave me his credit card to go shopping.
Wow, so his family is forced to come to him while he's playing video games to celebrate any special occasion, and that's ridiculous.
I went to the mall. There's very minimal interaction. I've always felt like I'm alone in this marriage. I feel like we're just coexisting in the same house. We don't even sleep up here together. He sleeps downstairs by the computer.
I like to not play as much. I still want to play the game. Well, my fears are that, yeah, I'm gonna probably lose my wife eventually if I stay on it, for sure. If I lose my wife, you know, she'll want to take the kids, but I don't want to lose them.
If you don't want to lose your wife or kids, just stop playing video games and fix your relationships. It's not that difficult, buddy. Maybe just an apology for all the troubles you have caused, and that's a beginning step to getting the marriage back on the right track again.
Here.
I think if this whole situation doesn't change, it could lead to a divorce.
Well, according to Julie, Fred left his successful career due to his excessive...
We are beyond our means now. And no matter how much I work and make, there's just no catching up.
I'm kind of in a pinch as it is, so... I mean, I don't spend anything playing this game.
I am getting...
Oh, and by the way, I haven't mentioned this yet, but they have 3 kids, and it makes it very difficult to get by when only one person in your family is bringing money to the table.
Our electric, $277, we just paid $500 on it, and we still owe $277. This is our gas bill for $1,200, and then our mortgage.
It was $1,800 a month, but now it's $2,400 a month.
Seems like an absolute mess. The husband really needs to get a job as soon as possible because these expensive bills surely can't pay themselves.
These are for some checks that bounced because we didn't have enough money in the bank to cover them. I'm very afraid we might lose our house. When I'm not here, Fred plays his game, our 5-year-old Justin plays his game, and Sean, the 3-year-old, runs around the house.
Sounds like a circus to me, and a 5-year-old playing video games? Wow, this dad's behavior has really rubbed off on as a young kid.
Sometimes my house is trashed, there's dishes piled, toys everywhere, food on the floor. I could leave these dishes sitting here for days.
By the way, guys, sorry for the bad quality on this episode. It's an older video, but anyways, let's get back into it.
And they would sit there.
I will vacuum. You know, I'll do whatever, I need to do. Take out the garbage, whatever.
My clothes would sit there forever if I didn't put them away. We would just live out of folded clothes on the
He says that he will do all this stuff to help out, but he never does. He's literally just straight up lying to his wife, his kids, and everyone watching the show.
As clean a room, it's this room. He says he doesn't mess up the kids' rooms and the bathrooms, and so he doesn't clean the rooms that he doesn't feel that he messes up. We can't keep up with the house, but as long as he can play his game, all is